my name is Chris, and this is the video called Spirit, A Place of Peace, Part 4. It's the fourth in a series of videos that I'm making about spirit and your spirit identity. If you're listening to this video, I'm going to assume that you've watched the first 3 videos in that series, and if you haven't, please stop now, go back and listen to them in order to understand what I'm saying in this video, to give you some context. So in this video, we're going to be taking our exploration of spirit one step further and actually coming to identify with our spirit identity. Then we'll ask our spirit identity some questions, get answers, and the whole time we will actually be inside the mind of our spirit identity. In this way, we'll get more information than we did in our last session when we simply asked our spirit identity questions, sitting from a vantage point of being outside of them. So to begin with, you're going to want to be in your spirit home, the one that we created the last time we talked or earlier, and go back to the same setting you were in the last time you interviewed your spirit identity. You want to be in a room in the home where you feel comfortable and you can sit opposite your spirit identity and ask them questions. You want your spirit identity to look like an idealized version of yourself. So once you've gotten comfortable in that position, you're going to want to come up with a question to start out with. Ask your spirit identity that question, and then you're going to actually leave your body and float across and place yourself inside your spirit identity so that you're almost like a ghost inside of your spirit identity's body, sort of inhabiting them but not controlling them. This will allow you to get a lot of the hidden meaning and subtext and hidden understanding that's behind what your spirit identity is telling you. There's a lot of nonverbal information that flows through your spirit identity that you're going to actually be able to see because you're going to be inside their mind. So you're going to want to actually place yourself in the position of being inside your spirit identity's mind in order to have access to that information. Now, your spirit identity will now answer the question that you first posed to them. And as they answer the question, you're going to not only hear their verbal answer, but feel and understand a deeper answer which is coming out of them in the form of understanding. So go ahead and write all that information down. When you're done, you can have your body, which is across the room facing your spirit identity, to ask them another question and again listen to their answer from inside their mind. Not only hear their verbal answer, but feel and listen to the answer, the information that flows through them as they're answering, and write all that down as well. If you haven't done this already, it's really a good idea to have a spirit journal, which is only for the material that you get from speaking to your spirit identity. As you work with them over time, you're going to produce a large volume of material, so make sure you have a large notebook, something ideally that's lined and large enough to contain quite a bit of writing, because I can tell you from experience that you will create quite a bit of material as you interview your spirit identity over time, as you'll have many questions and many interesting answers. Now, another thing you might want to do at this point is stop and have them give you a tour of your spirit home, but from their perspective. Get a feeling of what it's like to be them, to walk around as them, to feel them from the inside out. Now, as they show you around your spirit home, get a sense of how they feel about you and how they perceive you. As a final step, what I'd like you to do is take 10 minutes every day and just sit down and meditate. And during this meditation, I'd like you to simply skip the middleman and go to your spirit home and simply place yourself inside your spirit identity. So for 10 minutes a day, I'd like you to just be inside your spirit identity. They don't have to be doing anything. They can be sitting there watching a sunset or looking at a beautiful picture, or just lying in bed, or whatever it is you want them to be doing. It really doesn't matter. You can ask them questions mentally and they'll answer you mentally. But what I really am aiming for is for you to get a sense and a feel and a comfort level for being inside your spirit identity's mind. Now, this can be an odd sensation at first, and it takes some getting used to. But the advantages in terms of your learning curve are huge. As you continue to practice this over time, you're going to find that you'll come closer and closer to the point when eventually, after maybe a few years of practice, you will actually reach the point where you will so quickly and completely enter into your spirit identity that you will no longer see them as a separate being, but as part of your own self and simply one level of your own being, rather than something outside of yourself, which is what they are. And that will allow you then to start exploring the idea of living as your spirit identity. The advantages to that would be that you will increasingly be free from anger, stress, fear, doubt, guilt, shame, hatred, blame, and so forth. So, in the long term, our goal is to come to a state of complete identification with our spirit identity. But I can tell you from experience that it is a long-term process. However, once you reach that point where you easily and freely identify with your spirit identity, you realize that you've changed who you are, and you've changed your whole identity and what you're capable of as a person. Also, there are quite a few other benefits which simply come from a redefinition of yourself, not thinking of yourself simply as a body, but seeing yourself as a soul, as a mind, as a consciousness that's independent of physicality and of its limits. So that's a huge advantage as well. So keeping this all in mind, remember you have an ultimate goal that you'll benefit a great deal spiritually from achieving this goal, that it will improve the quality of your life and help you get free from the burdens of guilt, hatred, anger, fear, blame, judgment, and self-judgment that tend to weigh us all down. And you're taking a first important step here by coming to identify with your spirit identity. And then in a matter of years, you will find yourself completely identify with your spirit identity anytime that you wish to be, and that will be an important tool for you to use. In my next video, I'll talk about some more advanced subject matter and give you some clues and ideas about how you can expand your spirit practice in many different directions that might be helpful to you. Take care.